Okay, now. Oh, a few things have happened since last video. One, if you're noticing, my eyes are a bit darker. That's because I have new glasses. Ooh, very nice ones. My sister got me these. She spared no expense, so I'm giving props to her for that. So, yeah, feeling emotionally, psychologically way better than last video. Batman v Superman. What the fuck? Seriously. And then stuff happened. I talked to my friend, I felt better. Got new glasses, and then I went to go see Captain America Civil War. Now, in stark contrast to the two. This is a hell of a lot better of a film. Yes. Does it have some things that kind of make not a very clear sense to me? A little bit, just a tad. You know, just saying. Well, if you're wondering where I'm at now, I'm at a, what was it, Taft. I'm at a Taft, Orange County Library parking lot. I've been going to, since my library has been closed for renovations for the next 5 months, and it should be done. It says, it's suggesting that it could be done by the end of this month, by the end of May. You know, it's a supposed, end of project or whatever. Supposed completion, or estimated completion. It's by the end of this month. So, I had to go down the street here to a tiny little library to do whatever I needed to be done online, or whatever I can't really do too efficiently on the phone. And all the while, I've been doing that for like 2 months-ish, like 5-6 times already, and I've been passing this library the entire time. I just noticed it now while I was going to go to the Central Library on Broadway. I'm like, oh, well, there it is. Just go there. So yeah, so it opens in less than an hour, so that's why I'm doing this video. Okay, enough on that. Okay, okay, so bottom line, is Civil War better than Batman v Superman? Yes, undoubtedly better. Far, far less contrived. So what is the story? Yes, these are spoilers. Let's just go there, because it has to be contrast. I have to understand why. Okay, everything in Batman v Superman is completely contrived. The only thing good about it is the acting and the fight scenes. Though the reasoning for the fight scenes is stupid. Nobody does anything logically. You know, but Matt Damon as Batman, or Ben Affleck, or whoever the fuck they got for that is awesome. That guy should win an award just for projecting, being that actor. Being able to act that character incredibly well. Whatever that word is. And Lois is still an idiot. This story shows how one human, is capable of taking down the Avengers. Because, much like this one villain, whatever the fuck his name was, this one lone human is capable of bringing down the Avengers, much like Lex Luthor Jr. was able to bring, conflict to the Batman and Superman. This guy kind of had like a lot also kind of going towards him, like whatever he aimed for, he got relatively easy. He got Black Panther to, he got the Avengers to find Bucky for him. They managed to get him to whatever government facility, which is no longer S.H.I.E.L.D., there, so he can, get in the same room with him, and it's like, well, wait a minute, how did he get all this set up flawlessly, to achieve his goals. It's like, what? No one would have seen. Oh wait, we have a picture of him. Oh, that's not him. You know, it's called security checkpoint for a reason. The guy looks nothing like him. Not nothing like him. I mean, he looks different enough to say, hey, here's a picture of him. That's you. That's not you. You know? Security checkpoints. I mean, seriously. I know it's not S.H.I.E.L.D., but seriously. And then, you know, what was his goal? I kept trying to find, what the fuck was his goal? What the fuck was his goal? And what's with this dirt road and Bucky being sent off to achieve something, and I'm pretty sure he ended up killing whoever the driver was. Oh, and we have this backflash about, you know, Stark's father last time he saw him, which I thought, like, the last time he saw him was, like, whatever passing moment he had, which wasn't really this, wasn't really, like, that close to, they weren't there, because he keeps, more or less, it feels more like Nolan logging, because he's telling us exposition that we didn't really ask for, and we kind of had to assume, which was never established in any of the previous films, as to what that scene was. It's just suddenly, boom, there. And it explains itself later, it reveals itself later to be that, which is kind of jarring, because we're wondering what the heck is going on, and why is that a young Stark? You know, and this and that. And, you know, so all these little bits start heading up together. It's like, I remember that dirt road. It's like, how would you know that dirt road? It's one camera angle! You know, and it's like, and interestingly, that camera angle is exactly, like, on that road where that accident just happened, car just happens to hit the tree at that same spot. So it's perfectly well framed. So the death of Stark, you know, Tony Stark, Howard Stark is, like, perfectly framed right there in the middle, you know, where he gets assassinated by Bucky, and it's like, really? The camera just happens to be right there in 1991, and like the Russians have it, and this and that, and it's like, I don't understand how this one guy can just get all these clues and achieve this goal, even though he's on this total vendetta of, oh yeah, and incidentally, during the whole thing with Ultron, my family died, but I blame you, Avengers, so I'm gonna take you down from the inside, and I totally found everything I need to take down the Avengers, and I'm just one guy, so it's like, no. I'm sorry, you would have to have like a bajillion dollars to do this, and like a fucking PhD in like anything, or at least log a hell of a lot of hours on YouTube to learn all this shit, you know, and he just walks through it like nothing. So, yeah, the one thing I dislike about this is about it's one guy, much like the Lex Luthor Jr., is that he keeps getting everything he wants. Easily. Again, it's like, look, you could be the supreme higher being, interstellar, whatever, or it could be one guy. Shit's not gonna go your way that easy. The writers just made it that easy so they can get along with the point. Granted, I really did not see that moment coming, but then it all just seems incredibly contrived that all this just happens to line up perfectly for the big epic final fight scene at the end between Stark, Bucky, and Iron Man. Sorry. Between Iron Man, Bucky, and Cap, you know, and it's like the writers are kind of more, you know, creating this conflict, so it seems a bit contrived. Though it's emotionally validated, it just seems like really the villain got what he wanted, which was to tear a wedge between the Avengers. Yeah, again, like Lex Luthor, really just handing it to them. Other than that, creating the Civil War, they were trying to recreate that from the comics. They were trying to create that sense of splitting hairs, you know, we need more control, we need less control, pros and cons of this side, pros and cons of this side. Good attempt. I wasn't entirely buying it that they would have that much of a conflict over, you know, anything, and, you know, Iron Man keeps saying, look, this guy, whoever this is going to wake up 5 more super soldiers. We got to stop him. And he says, no, Cap, we need for you to stand down, and we're not going to listen. We're not going to try and stop him because that's not our decision anymore. It's like, really, Iron Man? That's not your decision anymore, Mr. Rogue? You know? Since when does he do everyone's bidding? But he's all, like, kind of like, we need to have a bit more control. Like, his conscience is bothering him that people have died on his watch, and because of actions he's made. But I don't know why he keeps, like, burdening himself with everything like this. And that mother being there to hand him the photograph in the beginning, after Pepper lost him, I thought she was like dead or something. Like, no, she's just separated from him for a little while. I was like, okay. And so he's distraught. Okay. And then the mother's there to give him more guilt. Why? And where is security in all this? It's like security is shit in this film. It's like everyone just keeps popping up because that's where they want to be. And it's like, okay. Terrorists just want to go wherever. That's all the security of a block party. I mean, really. So creating the tension and the conflict between them is a bit contrived. But at times you kind of understand them, and at times they don't. So then when they have the conflict at the airport, it feels a bit contrived. And Ant-Man and Spider-Man showing up does also feel like a last-minute add-on, or a scene that was put in there later in production, or kind of out of the blue, most likely because of Sony and everything else, and probably helped to pad out the roster, saying let's just make this a bigger battle. So they feel more like last-minute add-ons to a veteran moviegoer as myself. Though it is nice to see a Spider-Man interacting with somebody else other than a villain. It's nice to see Ant-Man again, even though I never saw that movie, but it's nice to have him in there. It is nice for them to, but again, Black Panther is the only one that actually seems reasonable. His, what his mindset is, like where he wants to go, he wants to take vengeance on Bucky for killing his father. Turns out it's the other guy. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense. Iron Man and Cap kind of makes sense, though it still feels 50% contrived. Everybody else feels more like 75% more contrived. And then the guest characters, Spider-Man and Ant-Man, feel kind of just like, well, we were just brought on because someone asked us to, rather than really anything else. So they're not emotionally invested, they're just asked to, come over here, please. But it still feels nice to see them. Even though it's a contrived introduction for them to join the main universe anyway, it is just nice to see them. Stark goes and visits Spider-Man, Spider-Boy or whatever. And that just feels a bit contrived, but though all things considered, it is a nice scene. It feels like tacked on last minute, And Spider-Man's really the only, more powerful hero you can go to, really. Not Mr. Strange or anybody else. He just needs a metahuman, really. Whatever. So, yes. Is it an awesome film? Yes. Does it have things wrong with it? Yes. Small things, but they're easily overlooked with a good film that takes a good while to get going. Are the battles feel like they have a lot of emotion once they actually do get started? Especially the laster. Okay, the fight at the airport feels a bit contrived. The one at the end, between the three, is a lot more emotionally invested because it's a lot more emotionally, reasonable and understandable. But it feels a bit contrived that all this stuff just lines up throughout the film for it to pay off, so it can be legitimatized. But once it gets started, oh yeah, fuck, that is just an awesome fight. They just beat the shit out of each other. And tons of emotion, heartstrings a tugging, really good. But it ends on a not bittersweet, but slightly sour, sweet-ish tone, where, yeah, we have a lot of shit between us, but we can still see eye to eye with each other. I'm still there for you, even though we're kind of like, yeah, we'll kind of end up arguing with each other a little bit, but in the end, I'm still got your back, bro. That sort of a thing. And Stan Lee shows up. I'm not going to ruin that for you. Stan Lee does show up to do his little cameo things, which is funny. The jokes in here are a lot more fewer and far between, which is nice, because this is more of a serious storytelling, but it has a good jokes and decent comedy put in there. So do I recommend this? Fuck yeah. Do I say this is a much better film than Batman v Superman? Yes, undoubtedly so. And I look forward to seeing more Marvel movies in the future. Particularly this Doctor Strange looks interesting, though it also looks like it was made by the guy visually or whatever. Made by the guy that also did Inception. Don't know why. That's just the art style they went with. Though I am curious to see how does the logic in that universe work. Or universes, apparently. So until next time, faithful viewer, stay frosty. And honestly, I couldn't really pick a side because they both weren't really entirely right and they both weren't really entirely wrong.